What's going on, everybody? It's Royalty Crypto here, and today I wanted to talk about why I believe Litecoin and the entire crypto market is struggling so much. I'll take a look at some macro events that are causing a lot of uncertainty as we speak, and last but not least, I will go over some interesting price targets for Litecoin in the short to medium term. But before I get into all of that, guys, this is a relatively new crypto channel, so if you like this type of content, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. But without further ado, let's talk about the market. As you guys can see, basically every coin is being hit pretty hard today, as Bitcoin was trading at around $89,000 this time yesterday, and we are now down all the way to 84,400. The same goes for Ethereum, Solana, and basically every other coin in the space, and that negative price action is also taking place on the Litecoin chart. Now guys, in my opinion, I do not believe that Litecoin is dead, even though a lot of people on social media are trying to make that claim. In reality, the prices of these altcoins have a high correlation with the price of Bitcoin, so if Bitcoin is showing weakness and trading sideways or down, you can expect your favorite altcoins to also be doing the same thing. But in my opinion, with weakness comes opportunity, and I do believe that that is the case on the Litecoin chart. You can see that we are currently trading at yearly lows for this project. However, we still have a very high 24-hour trading volume at over 400 million, and our market cap is currently sitting at $5 billion. Now, if we do end up starting to gain some bullish momentum for the overall crypto market later this year, I do believe that Litecoin will be one of the best performing projects. I think that it is very reasonable to believe that Litecoin could get to anywhere between a $20 billion market cap to as high as a $50 billion market cap. So if you are investing at today's prices, you could potentially 10x your money if you are able to perfectly time the top, and we do end up having an extremely bullish environment for altcoins. Now, I do think that that is a very real possibility because we are going into the expansion phase of the business cycle, which essentially means that there will be more liquidity in markets like crypto, which historically has been very good for risk on assets. Trump will also be announcing who the Fed chair replacement will be next week, which I believe will be a very bullish catalyst. For the past couple of years, Jerome Powell has been making the decisions at the Fed, and he has been a somewhat hawkish Fed chair. So whoever Trump decides to elect as the Fed chair will undoubtedly be a much more dovish selection, and he will likely fight to lower rates as low as possible. The lower the Fed rate, the better it is for risk on assets as well. But guys, in the short term, we could experience more weakness, and the reason for that is because we have had a bunch of uncertainty in the overall economy. The first thing that is taking place as we speak is the potential of another government shutdown starting on Saturday. Now, the good news is the odds of this shutdown have actually been tanking for the last couple of hours, and I don't know if it's just because there's rumors going around that a deal will be made, but this is undoubtedly good to see, because just a couple of days ago, the odds of this government shutdown were almost at 80%, which of course would be terrible for the market. When the government is shut down, we don't get any economic data releases, which makes it impossible to know whether or not our economy is in good standings and whether it's a good idea to lower the Fed rate. Also, basically every government employee does not get paid while the government is shut down, so that basically restricts liquidity from entering markets, which of course is a negative thing. So let's keep our fingers crossed that this doesn't happen, but if it does end up happening, I do think it's possible to see a sell the rumor buy the news event where we actually dump leading into Saturday, which has been what has been taking place, and then potentially pump on the news of a government shutdown. The market is always forward looking, so you can't necessarily expect it to crash if this event is already priced in. Another thing that is affecting the crypto market in particular is the fact that we are currently trying to pass the crypto market structure bill. So there was good news and bad news on this today. The good news being that the US Senate has actually passed this bill, so this is increasing the odds of this actually getting through, which in my opinion is a very good thing for the crypto market. Now, the bad news is that I've heard a lot of people say that this bill is actually more favorable for the banks than it is for the actual crypto industry. Now, I don't know how true those claims actually are because I've yet to read through this entire bill, but I know that the Coinbase officials were fighting for those statements to be removed, so we'll just have to see what ends up actually being passed. But regardless, guys, I do believe that this will be a bullish long-term event for the space because it will increase the overall investments in into crypto through large banks and institutions, and that of course will drive price action upwards in my opinion. Alright guys, and then the last thing that I wanted to talk about is the price of Bitcoin and why I believe this drop actually took place. As you can see, I am looking at the Bitcoin liquidation chart on the 1 week, and you can see that we had a ton of leveraged longs down here between $87,000 to as low as $85,000. And with today's move, we did liquidate all of those people, and that is why we saw us dump from 87 to 84,000 in the matter of an hour. Now, although this move might seem fundamentally bearish, it is actually bullish in my opinion, because now we no longer need to worry about these long leveraged trades being liquidated, and we can start to focus on how many leveraged shorts are sitting above us, because there is quite a few. When you zoom out on the 3-month chart on this liquidation map, you can see that it is very unbalanced to the upside, and I believe that once this macro uncertainty starts to dissipate, which I do think it will happen in the next couple of months, and some of these bullish catalysts start to play out, we will start to trend back upwards for Bitcoin, and I believe that once we start to do that, we will liquidate all of these trades in a very short period of time. So I could see us moving from around $90,000 all the way back up to all-time highs within a 1 to 2 week period. So if you are currently sitting on the sidelines, don't get complacent and think that you can time this move with certainty, because this could happen very quickly, and I think it will catch a lot of people off guard. Also, once this move does happen, I do believe it will cause a pretty massive FOMO event, and that is when I expect the altcoin market and coins like Litecoin to have insane runs. So guys, do your best to ignore the FUD over the next couple of days, because there has been a lot of it lately, and I understand that it is a very emotional time to be in the crypto space, but these times always get better, and in my opinion, it is best to buy when there's blood in the streets, and that's what we've been seeing for the past couple of months. But alright guys, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you all have a fantastic night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace.